Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Genshin Impact reaction. Now, I want to clarify something from the last video because I feel like a lot of people definitely took most of what I said very literally, and you should never do that. I'm not a professional musician by technicality. It's not my trade, really. I just really love music, and I do play the drums, but I'm not even a session drummer. I'm not like a professional in that way, so I'm just giving my blanket opinions on how I'm feeling, how the song is, and how it's portrayed, and I don't know the game, so anything to do with like the lore that's relevant is either I'm gonna pick up on it or I don't. It's very hit or miss, but a lot of people very truly did want to clarify a lot of things about the lore that made sense after reading it, of course, and I thank them for putting that in there because I never would have really thought about it so much. But I also feel like a lot of people took the few things I said and were just like, oh, he hates it, and that's not the case. I don't necessarily think that cleanliness makes the song bad or worse in any way. It just makes it feel odd, and that can be a positive thing depending on the lore and the intent of the music. But since I don't know the world that they're in right now, I don't know this area, then I don't know what they're going for. From what I was able to pick up from the various comments I read, it was pretty much like kind of pseudo Atlantis, where like they were aiming for this perfection and that's why things were too clean. And that muddiness to me usually signifies a world lived in, something that has a history, whereas Remuria didn't really have any of that. It just sounded stale, almost sterile in a way. And some people did point out that that could be the case. That could be the reason why, is because they were aiming for that perfection, so the music reflected that in kind, and that totally makes sense. But I feel like a lot of people thought that I hated it because of that, and less of that. More of, it was so sterile, I didn't know where to bring my thoughts, because when it's so clean like that, and when things feel artificial, it's hard for somebody without any further context to build anything. I just wanted to clarify that because there were a lot of people, and probably the most ever, that have been like notably negative and like antagonistic in a way. Not that you were like, oh, fuck this guy. Like, that didn't really happen. But there were a lot of people who were taking what I said to a literal degree, to the point of like, oh, he doesn't know what's going on here. It's like, you're right, I don't. I just got here. Like, I don't play the game. I don't know the world, even though I do have an idea of most of the areas by now. That's because I've heard little bits and pieces of everything in those areas. This is like maybe the second song I've heard of this area, and this is the first set that sounded anything like that. So it's a very small pool to be able to build a full opinion off of. And I just want to make sure that people don't like hate me for being incorrect there, because yeah, I'm just a dude in the basement. I'm not even like properly trained. I literally can only play the drums and sing, kind of, and I was never trained on either one, and I can pluck around on a piano, but I don't know music theory all that well. I know like little bits and pieces that I've picked up over the years, but I am not like a person to look at for this sort of thing. I'm not Marco Meatball, you know, I'm not somebody who was a professional musician for most of their life. I just showed up here. I've been playing drums since I was like 12, but not professionally ever. I've never even been in a band, and I'm not really interested in it. I play for me, you know, like that's the sort of person I am. But a lot of people, I think, see my videos and assume that I am a person with that sort of experience, and I'm not. Animation wise, when I talk about animation, that's something I have an actual background and a physical career in. I don't do that with music. I might once in a while make a cover or something, but by no means do I have any clue what I'm doing as a musician. I just hit stuff and I make videos. So please take these with a grain of salt in general when it comes to the technicalities, because I don't know truly what's going down. The stuff I talk about on here is the stuff that I've picked up, the stuff I give you details on and little blurbs of information that pop up. Those are things I know about and things I'm confident in actually stating as a fact. But the rest of it is just me blabbing. Just a full yap sesh. Don't take it that literally. All right, I just wanted to say that before we get into this video. But much like this yap sesh, it's gone on a little too long, so I'm going to get into the actual video now, and without further ado, let's go. Ooh. I love that lethargic, slow pull in. It's so labored. like a slow breathing. I love the really airy quality in there too. I think that might just be somebody literally pushing air through a wooden flute. I don't hear any tone really. It's just the texture of the air in there. That's a really neat detail. Ooh. Oh. Now that shifted its mood. Oh, it's doing like the cinematic depression chord progression here. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that was crunchy. Oh, there's the flute. Yeah, so they must have just been playing that air only until now. This one's definitely a lot more sad. Much like some other ones that we've heard from this album too, actually, if memory serves. Big swell to the finish there. Ooh. It's been a second since I've heard something from this album, but man, I love this one a lot. This one in tone actually reminded me a lot of another song I've heard from Genshin, and I can't remember if it's from the same album specifically, but it had a very similar feel where it sounded like basically you're in a wasteland and there's nothing left alive. There was a little bit of hope in there, like this one specifically had a little bit of hope near the end with that, like, it was still melancholic on that flute, but it was still very sad. Like overall was not good, and it had multiple times where there was just mood drained out of it, and that's those moments where like the key would shift down a little bit, things would get crunchier as it went down into more dissonance, and it just, yeah, you know, it sounds so sad. There's pain in there, and that's the main thing I loved about this song. It definitely ran a gambit of like, are we going to become happy again? But very clearly by like the maybe latter third of this, it was like, nope, we're never gonna be able to recover from whatever happened at this point, and it just it punches you a little bit in the gut, and I love that emotion being put in. The fact that they had that empty air in the flute for like the first 2/3 of the song was really cool too, because that just adds more to the emptiness in this song, and it made it feel like there's just something missing. Like in texture it's there, in theory it's there, but there's no sound, there's no sweetness to be had here, there's no melody left. It is just empty, callous, soulless, dry, sad. And those are all the best words I can use to describe what this sounded like, even though there was that little bit at the end that tried to pick up some hopefulness by bringing in that flute and making it feel a little bit more like there may be some hope yet. I'm not convinced, because it never once really felt like it was a positive direction. It felt more melancholic, like it was trying to bring something back, but it couldn't. Like the tone never quite picked up. It just stayed low and down the whole time. So you're listening to this with no real percussion, all swells, this laborious pulsing that feels like breathing. It's like the world, the earth is on its last legs and it is on life support, drained of everything is what this felt like. And that is such an emotional tone. And that makes me feel like this area, wherever it is probably similar to that other one, if not the same place, where it was just drained. It's a wasteland. Cataclysm has happened here. You know, like there's no life, nothing left. It is empty, barren, and depressed, and there's nothing you can do about that, and that's why the song is playing, even though there is that little glimmer of hope maybe in your eyes, and maybe that's what the flute was there to signify. The rest of the song did not back any of that up as an actual potential. It just existed, and it was sad. And that's, oh man, these emotional moments in games and movies too are what really sell me for those moments. It's just, music matters so much to the tone of the area. If you were to get rid of this song and play nothing, it would have a different emotion. It would still have an emotion because the lack thereof is also very much depressing. But when you have something like this that pulls just a little bit of emotion out of you, it's usually trying to get you to feel more sad than empty. You know, even though there was that emptiness there, it was still supporting the emotional reflection of that, not just the sheer lack of music, the sheer lack of anything left. It was just making it clear to you that there may be nothing here. Something was at one point, and there's maybe a non-zero chance of it coming back, but it's not looking good, you know? That's what I'm getting out of this one specifically. So let me know if I'm wrong or right down below as usual. Again, with the last one, sorry that I kind of stepped on a few toes there indirectly. I'm not entirely sure what I said. I didn't go back and watch the video, but I think I said something specific that must have like annoyed people that I was so incorrect about it. I try my best, but sometimes I just don't get it right. That's the nature of my channel and what I do here. So if I am wrong, tell me. If I am right, tell me. It's all good to learn. I just wanted to make sure at the beginning of the video that it was clear that I'm not intending to be like antagonistic in any way, and being ignorant by choice is kind of part of the channel to a degree, at least. Like, I don't play the games, really any of them, on purpose. I am considering it, but at the same time, I don't think I'll ever get far enough into any of these games to reach these other areas. So we'll see how time goes and if I do pick up any of those games, but I suppose that's pretty much all I've got to say on this one. So if you have something else you want me to get to, drop it down below. I did see that the highest rated song request actually was an animation reaction, but I don't do those as often, so I'm not going to pick those out of the comments too often. I plan to make like a community post that'll be asking for those so I can add them to a list and get to them eventually over time. I'm planning on doing an animation analysis at least once a month, so hopefully I can get through some of those more frequently than I have in the past. But if you have anything else music-wise you want me to listen to, drop it down in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to those. But otherwise, if you just enjoyed this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!